Football conversation, women's football right now. We've got Amarachi Oba, a sports writer with ACL Sport, joining us. Thank you so much, Amarachi, for your patience.
Very much indeed. Good to have me here again.
Great excitement ahead. We've got 9 matches to watch out for match day 8 of the Nigeria Women's Football League. Amarachi, Bayelsa Queens and Rivers Angels, they're maintaining unbeaten runs. I never expected less from those two teams, but how do you assess their chances of securing a Super 6 qualification? We know that in women's football, anything can happen. We know that. And we've got this historically a strong side like Remo Stars ladies. They will always come to the fore. So how confident are you? How will you assess the chances? Rivers and Bayelsa Queens heading up to the Super 6.
I think, first of all, it was a good break for most of the teams that, are in the league, because some of the coaches did come in towards a change of coaches, ensure that most of them didn't have much time to have pre-season with their players, especially coaches, the likes of Oshun Babes. But talking about Bayelsa Queens, before the season started, I spoke to Coach White Obunda and also the captain of the side, Blessing Oliveda, and she mentioned that the hurt from the Waffle Bay disappointment, failing to make the CAF Champions League, is still with the players and, of course, the entire management. And they've vowed to the Bayelsa State government to go back there and rectify the wrongs. Last season, we saw them blow past regular season unbeaten and then went on to win the league there in Ikene. And so far, only them have actually won 6 out of 6 so far in the league this season. Rivers Angels, unfortunately, lost to this same Bayelsa Queens, as well as Edo Queens, who went to the CAF Champions League 2 seasons back, also lost to Bayelsa Queens also. So yeah, they are the team to beat. You probably ask, who can stop Bayelsa Queens? But they have a plan, and for what's going for them as a club, as a team, the backings of the government for the team is making sure that they all stick together and ensure that they go back to the Waffle Bay. And that, by doing that, they have to win the Nigeria Women's Football League.
All right, let's see newcomers that are already, already making waves in the league this season. Nim and Naija Ratels. Yes, Naija Ratels have been in the Nigeria Women's Football League for some time right now, but Nim from nowhere, they are struggling for wins this season. What tactical challenges do you think are hindering these sides from performing so well in the league this season?
Aside Awudian name, if you're Igbo, I know that name has a particular meaning.
Yes.
Awudian name, but the performance so far, I don't think that name can actually correlate with what he's saying.
It's not correlating at all.
Of course, for themselves and pace setters, who are also newcomers, newly formed team, by the way, they are struggling, really struggling so far this season. They, pace setters and Naija Ratels, who have been in the league previously, even went to the Super 6 last time around, are struggling. The only 3 teams yet to get a win so far this season. I thought Conference Queens was, I could put them together, but Conference Queens need to have they've had a change of management and they've kicked into life. Unbeaten so far, even going to that game against Awudian. For them, their problem is that Coach Ann Chejin, who's also the assistant coach of the Nigerian Super Falcons team, her team needs to start scoring goals. I think without scoring goals, you can't win matches. They've had 2 draws so far, and the rest of their games, 5 defeats. Just 1 goal scored. They can score goals, then they can find a way to probably grind out wins. They can frustrate teams, I can tell you that for sure, because it's very hard to get past them scoring goals. A free scoring side of like Robo Queens, for instance, you just could only score 1 goal past them here in Lagos. But you can imagine what it is for teams like Conference Queens who will be facing them. But then to beat the drop, we have 3 more teams joining. They already cast Mog out of the league in relegation this season. If you want to remain in the NWFL next season, you have to start scoring goals. And scoring goals, you have to start winning games.
All right, let's see the fixtures for today. I would really like to put you on the spot, Amarachi. We've got exciting ones to look ahead of the match day 8 encounter. So let's see the fixtures for today. Of course, we've got Naija Ratels. They'll be up against the likes of Adamawa Queens. Heartland Queens will be up against Bayelsa Queens. Ekiti Queens will take on Rivers Angels. Remember, Rivers Angels are unbeaten. We've got Ibom Angels up against Edo Queens. Amarachi, this is in a group where there are tightly contested rivals here. But Let's see, which of the games do you think, every single game at 4 p.m., different venues in Nigeria, which of the games do you think will come up with the most goals?
I think in Group A already, Group A has already probably just somehow fixed itself, the top three side, because the top three goes to Super 6. So I think the likes of Bayelsa Queens, Ibom Angels, and Edo Queens, just as they were, probably will be a change in arrangements. But then the top three, I guarantee you, are the teams that probably will be in the Super 6 come the end of the season. But all three of these big sides are playing away from home. And then we're talking about the likes of Bayelsa Queens, who are in very fine form against Heartland Queens. Heartland themselves are a very tough side to beat, especially there in Owerri there. But coming to wins this season, they have just 2 wins themselves. But the last meetings between these two sides have all ended in goalless draws. For Bayelsa Queens, they will be without the likes of Janet Akekorowe, thanks to that injury that happened
in the under-20.
In the under-20s qualifiers against Senegal. But one thing about their side is that they spread the goals around the team. So it's not a big problem for Bayelsa Queens to get the goals. Rivers Angels themselves also have Karim Amatalai, who has scored hat-trick this season. They've got the 2 players that have scored hat-trick this season. But Ekiti Queens will be playing away from home in a neutral ground. So I think most times home advantage help fans play and teams to get results against the big sides. But for Ekiti, they're playing away from home, courtesy of that, the crowd issue that happened. So I think for Rivers will take it as a neutral ground between these two sides. And for Rivers Angels coach, Coach Blackson, today is his birthday. But that icing on the cake will be for 3 points to go back to Rivers State. For Edo Queens, they will just welcome back their coach, who are just qualified Nigeria to the next round of games for the Under-20 World Cup. Coach Moses Aduko against Ibom Angel. Very strong side. Bayelsa Queens had to dig deep to get the 3 points in that particular one. But for them, they're playing in a close, behind closed door match because of the incidents that happened. But I think I expect Edo Queens to get the win in a particular one. 5 straight games, 5 wins for them since their opening day defeat to Bayelsa Queens in the league this season.
All right, Amara, for Coach Blackson, I'm sure that they would get a win. They will always turn up, Of course, Rivers Angels always turn up at the end of the day. And he was chosen to be the coach of the match day for a particular fixture. So that's great for the Nigeria Women's Football League. For Edo Queens, remember, Coach Aduku will have to return to the helm as he has just guided the under-20 to that game against Senegal doubleheader. Let's not forget Naija Ratels. Naija Ratels has got a dependable hand, of course, tutoring that team. And we'll be expecting that he can come all out against Adamawa Queens when they go out today. Great analysis coming from you. Of course, would have you join us again, especially after these games have been played. Let's see if all the predictions, all the analysis that we've done concerning the Group A, Group B fixtures will come to fruition. Thank you so much, Amarachi Oba, for joining us on the show.